Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our free online information session for the Bachelor's in Information Technology program at CTS College. My name is Sanjeev, and I'll be your host this morning. How are you all doing this lovely Saturday morning? Is everyone okay?
Yes, Mrs.
Yes,
Amayan.
yes.
Excellent. That's really great to hear. And it's such a pleasure to have you all here with me on this lovely Saturday morning. Of course, if you have questions, feel free to ask your questions on the chat, or you can unmute and ask your questions while I'm presenting. Also, at the end of the session, there would be a Q&A segment where you can also ask questions. So you could save them. You save your questions throughout the session and ask them at the end, right? Up to you. But let's get right into it, right? Without any further ado. These are a bit about the speakers at the information session. We have Mr. Ravi Raghunath, who's the Executive Director of CTS College. He can be contacted at that number, that email address. There's also Mr. Aaron Naris, who maybe some of you would have gotten contact with maybe previously in the past week or so, and he's your program manager and can be contacted at that number and email address. And I'm your host, Sanjeev. I am the program administrator for the Bachelor's in Information Technology. Sorry about that. I am your program administrator for the Bachelor's in Information Technology at CTS College. I can be contacted at 286-0862 or at that email address. Now, all of us basically spearhead the BSc IT program at CTS College, and we can all be contacted at this group email. So when emails are sent to this email address, which is bsc@cts college, it would reach all three of the contacts listed on screen, right? So any program related information you'd like to find out, or perhaps if you have any documents that you would like to forward to get you into the program, you'll be sending it to bsc@ctscollege.com. Right. So I have a question for you all this morning. My question to you is, why study for a bachelor's degree? Right? It doesn't have to be anything in particular, not information technology, nothing in the medical field, nothing in business related field, but why do you think persons generally study to achieve a bachelor's degree? Right? Anyone would like to answer? Feel free to unmute or probably post your answers in chat.
Basically, on my end is to get further advancement in the field that I am currently in as well. Plus, it's also
Excellent.
to, plus it's also to up my knowledge on things that I may not have been familiar with. Because I'm unsure if I'm going to add this as well too. But in terms of, I guess there may be some little programming modules as well inside the course as well. Correct?
Yes. So,
Yeah.
of course, there's a lot of reasons why, and most of the popular reasons, of course, is for the educational purposes, but there are a whole lot other reasons as well, right? I'm seeing some persons answering in the chat as well. So, of course, to gain more knowledge in whatever field necessary, employability is probably one of the bigger aspects of it as well, right? So we're getting straight into that. So, for example, I have a couple of reasons why persons would study for a bachelor's degree. So, for promotional purposes, for career change, perhaps you're stuck in a career and you just want to shift over to something different, you can start studying again, go back to school and achieve your bachelor's degree to actually transition over into that new career path. Definitely increase salary. Let's say that you're working within an institution, doing within a specific role as well, right? And the only way, of course, to advance is, have extra layer of perhaps like a bachelor's degree or something like that, right? It can actually get you a promotion at work. Therefore, with that promotion would come the increased salary. We also have the purpose of starting and growing your own business. So a lot of persons who graduate further to become self-employed and start their own business as well, and having that core knowledge within your related field is essential to start and grow your own business as well. For personal achievement, so we have like a lot of mature candidates, for example, persons who would have actually spent their entire lifetime or their entire career within a specific field, for example, IT, and they just did not get the opportunity to do the certification, to have anything to solidify their, their knowledge, etc. Right? Something in paper stating that they would have achieved a bachelor's degree, etc. So persons would pursue their bachelor's degree just for the sake of personal achievement. and we have practical experience in IT. And this one is only specific to our IT degree. So we have a lot of practical assignments, etc., that would be, that you'll be involved in as well, that is directly related to IT. So yes, you will be developed holistically when you do the bachelor's in IT with CTS College. And of course, enhancing your employability, not only, like let's just say you're into IT, for example, you are a database administrator. You don't have to remain a database administrator given that you've done a bachelor's degree or you've done certification, etc. You are now basically boosting your employability. So now you can shift over to a different career path or go to a different institution and still would not be turned down because of the education that you possess, right? So these are some typical reasons why persons would study for a bachelor's degree in general or specifically a bachelor's degree in IT. So moving across a bit further into the salary aspect, because this is a very big aspect for you all as well. So what I have here is an OJT salary chart and it's qualification based. So basically, we're going to look at what salary you would be getting per month, given that you have a specific set of qualifications. So with CXC certifications or CSEC certification, to be specific, you'll be earning roughly $3,000 per month. With a CAPE qualifications or a diploma, you'll be earning roughly $4,300 per month. With an associate's degree, roughly $5,400. With a bachelor's degree, it's roughly $7,500 per month. And of course, master's degree, which is further to the undergraduate studies, would be around $8,700. And these figures are per month, and these are on-job training salaries. So these are pretty much not like an actual role, it's on-job training, and it's actually on average, right? So these figures may be higher, most likely higher, or a little bit lower, depending on the institution that you work at, right? So let's do a little bit more in depth in terms of evaluating these salaries. So I'm gonna compare for you now, having CSEC qualifications versus having your bachelor's degree, right? So this is a case for pursuing your degree. How much more would you earn with a bachelor's degree versus just having CXC qualifications per month? So we're going to take the bachelor degree figure, which is $7,562.50, and we're going to subtract the CSEC figure from that, or the CXC qualifications figure from that per month, and that's roughly $3,025. And the amount that you will be earning more every month would be roughly $4,500, right? And this is on average. This is how much more you would be earning just by having a bachelor's degree. So if we take that $4,500 figure, right, and we're going to calculate how much we're going to earn in 1 year, we're going to take that monthly figure that we earn in excess and we're going to multiply that by 12. You earn roughly $54,450 extra every single year just by having a bachelor's degree. And it doesn't stop there. How much more would you be earning in a lifetime, for perhaps like a bigger time frame, maybe about 30 years, 40 years? We'll use 40 years for this example. If we take that yearly figure, 54,450, we multiply that by your lifetime within your career, you're earning $2,178,000 more just by having a bachelor's degree. And the thing about it is, after you finish this bachelor's degree, right, you would be roughly paying back or basically earning back all of your tuition in full in just 1 year, right? Because the total cost for this program is around $50,000. That's university fees included, the tuition fees included as well, registration, all in one. So after you graduate, you've spent all of that effort, all of your finances as well gauged towards your bachelor's degree. You'll be earning that back in excess in just 1 year, right? So why wait to start your bachelor's degree? And if you're not convinced as yet, right, the jobs of tomorrow, everything is changing as well in terms of the job aspect as well. So we've done some research on the World Economic Forum, right? And that's the WEF. And they actually suggested that the workforce is automating. And because it's automating, it's displacing over 85 million jobs in the next 5 years. And of course, the COVID-19 recession created a double disruption scenario for the worker. Now, companies are adopting technology, with 43% of the businesses that were surveyed by the WEF indicated that they are set to reduce their workforce because of technology integrations. So on the right-hand side of the screen, I'm not sure if you guys would be seeing that. Let me just get a much brighter pointer for you all. So on the right-hand side of the screen here, we have some ins and outs in terms of the jobs that are rising in demand and those that are decreasing in demand. So we have increasing in demand on the left column over here, right? So these would be like data science, data analysts and scientists, AI and machine learning specialists, big data specialists, etc. And we have those that are decreasing on demand on the right-hand side. So this would be data entry clerks, administrative and executive secretaries, accounting, bookkeeping, payroll clerks, etc. Right? So I have a question for you all, a little bit of a challenge for you all. Can you all recognize a trend here? Can you all point that trend out if you've recognized it as well? Anyone wants to make a guess what it is? It's quite obvious as well, but I want to see who's actually paying attention. What is the difference between the job roles that are increasing in demand and decreasing in demand? Can anyone point it out?
You want more technically inclined persons, I guess, if you want to shorten it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And well,
I've seen more computer-based analysis by the increase in demand.
Excellent. And you are all correct. You are absolutely correct. And I'm glad that you recognize it as well. Let's look at those that are decreasing in demand. We have those roles that are more, well, those roles that require a lot more human interaction. On the increasing in demand, we have specialists, scientists, etc., professionals. The reason why, if we go back to this here, right, most companies are basically looking at how they can improve their business model, their function, etc., right? And given that, they have now a whole lot more technological integrations, right? So for example, like an institution might implement a service where customers can, perform purchases online. Therefore, that reduces the amount of persons they need at a given retail store, for example, right? So basically, they wouldn't need a lot of persons to be present within an establishment. They can fully automate their business and run it online without a need for an outlet or an actual institute for persons to visit and actually make purchases and conduct business. They can now implement an online service, and to manage that online service, they need the IT specialists. So therefore, data entry clerks, we don't need that anymore. We don't need persons to manually enter data for us. We can have our customers enter data on a system. The system performs some sort of validation, and that data would be saved in a database. And you just need maybe a one or a couple of persons or an IT team to manage that IT system for the business. So it also works out well in terms of the payments of like salaries, right? So a lot of institutions, they would have to pay a lot less salaries at the end of the month. They just simply have to pay one or two or three IT professionals rather than to pay an entire staff or an entire crew of workers or a crew of customer service representatives, etc., that would work within one of their establishments or one of their outlets, etc. Right? So that is the whole idea. A lot of these businesses are looking to transition or have already begun transitioning and was already fully transitioned into having technological integration. And because of that, that basically increases the need for IT professionals within these businesses, within these establishments. Yeah. So everyone understands, is it all clear as well? So we've actually evaluated the salary aspect and we've evaluated the job aspect, right? So those are primarily the main reasons why IT is becoming a much more popular job role or a career path within society, right? And how exactly do you get there? If you want to begin your career in IT, the best place to start, right, is with certification or to step it up a bit further, your bachelor's degree, right? So for example, as we were speaking about these technological integrations, we have quite a few that have already been in progress and is already available for us to use. For example, we have the online service with Massy Stores. You have the availability of your Massy cards. You can track your points. You can make purchases online, have it delivered to you to your doorstep. You no longer need to actually exit your home and drive to the nearest massy store location and actually purchase these. You can order these online and get it delivered, right? At a cost, of course. But another example as well as the KFC online service as well. So you have delivery, pickup, all of the specials, offers, etc. That are available for you online. So you can actually just order your food online, have it delivered to you. Don't have to leave the comfort of your own home. The other thing as well, TTPS, and this one is not as popular, but I believe it should be, because now you don't need to go and make a report at, like, for example, a police station. Your reports could be made online. You can get a lot of updates in terms of anything that's happening within the TTPS as well, right? And that is an excellent service that is available for all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, right? So these are just some of the actual examples that are being utilized right now in terms of like technological integrations, right? I can see in the near future that some businesses might close their doors on their outlets and transition to fully online, right? So it's a possibility, and the chances of it happening is very, very high, given that we've actually all experienced COVID. We've actually transitioned to online for schools, online for business, etc. So it's not too far-fetched when we really think about it, right? And keeping in mind, of course, the amount of opportunities that would open for persons who's looking to shift their career path into one that is IT related, right? So the only and the best way to get started with your career path in IT is, of course, starting your bachelor's degree. So we have a couple more. Yeah. We have another example here as well, with a pharmaceutical institute actually developing an online service for customers to actually like place orders on their meds and actually have it delivered to them, get recommendations from actual pharmacists as well. So this is another example. I believe Superfarm does have something like this as well, but I'm not quite sure. So entering a bit more focus on the bachelor's degree itself, right? This bachelor's degree is being offered at CTS College, but in partnership with the University of Bedfordshire. University of Bedfordshire is actually a UK-based university. So why study with the University of Bedfordshire, you might ask? Now, a bit about the University of Bedfordshire. They're actually a modern, innovative university with a heritage of top quality education going back for more than 100 years, with more than 20,000 students from over 120 countries, with 5 campuses in the UK, including Luton, Bedford, etc. And of course, they have educational partners in China, the Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Trinidad and Tobago. And the internationally renowned league table has placed Bedfordshire in the top 6% of the best universities in the world. And the University of Bedfordshire have actually won the Queen's Anniversary Prize in 2013. This is recognized as the highest form of national recognition for universities within the UK. So they've been in the educational field for more than a century, right? That's a lot of experience as well, right? And of course, their programs are internationally recognized. So a bit more about CTS College. Why study at CTS College, right? At CTS College, we tell our students the education is always beyond the academics, and our mission is to provide high quality and relevant educational opportunities whilst promoting excellence in both staff and students. Not only students, but of course staff as well, right? Because staff usually interacts with students, so we want to make sure that interaction is seamless, right? So CTS College is a private institution with over 22 years in the education industry. We are ACTT recognized and registered, ACTT being the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago. And CTS College offers a wide range of programs from preschool to diplomas to bachelor's and master's degrees even. And CTS College offers also a wide range of professional development programs, short courses, stuff like IT certification separate, and we have DIY courses, we have business courses, etc. All of these can actually be found on our website, ctscollege.com/certifications. A bit more about CTS College, and I'd like to call this a bragging page as well, the awards that we would have received as an institution. We're actually a winner of over 106 ABE World Prizes. I believe that it's currently 109, and we've been winning these since 2007, right? Till date, we've recently received a couple more as well, just last year. We are also the winner of 47 university awards with the University of Hertfordshire, which is also a UK-based university that we offer programs in conjunction with. We are the winner of 2 ABMA Academic Achievement Awards, and we won a lot of awards with ACTT, that's the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago. We won 11 awards with them. We got 6 for student support services, 3 for excellence in an established QMS, and 2 for excellence in both teaching and learning. So we've also been in the education scene for quite a while. And here's a little bit about our experience in delivering the bachelor's in IT. Now, CTS College has over 15 years of experience in delivering bachelor level programs with an average pass rate of over 90% per module, with over 2,000 applicants and over 1,750 graduates that we would have had within our BSc IT program. Of that figure, 500 of those students would have achieved first class honors, and I believe that figure is a lot higher by now. The graduates that would have, finished our program, finished the BSc in IT, achieve a first class honor, upper second, etc. They actually progressed on to be employed in various different sectors and in various industries at various levels. So a lot of our students migrated to Canada. They got a lot of opportunities there in the US, of course, and most definitely in the UK as well, right? So it's a lot. There's a lot of things that you can do with this bachelor's degree once you finish it off, right? I know a lot of students gotten into the development scene, so web development, software engineering, etc. And here's a bit further into our experience in delivering the bachelor's in IT, and where better to look than our actual grades. So over here, we have 2 of our level 4 units, right? These are highlighted in blue, our level 5 units highlighted in red, and 3 of our level 6 units highlighted in green, right? We can actually see the lecturers and the pass rates for each. At level 4, we would have gotten 96 and 99% pass rate based on the figures here, with 58 and 88 students respectively scoring roughly 70 to 100% in their assignments, right? Where the highest mark as well, not only, just passing, but by what mark? The highest mark was actually 99 for one of them and 97 for the other. If we look at level 5, right? The pass rates will be 95 and 92% for both units respectively, with 39 and 16 students scoring roughly 70 to 100% in both of their assignments for each unit. And that's excellent. If you look at the highest mark as well, it's 85 and 92% respectively. At level 6, we've actually achieved a record of 100% pass rates for all of the level 6 units that we offered that semester. And basically the entire class passed everything with marks like 85, 82, and 86% respectively. So we can easily say that we can get anywhere from a 95% and 98% pass rate throughout our entire program, right? So we have a lot of experienced lecturers, not just those who, were not just those who are being paid to teach, but actual professionals within their related field as well. So if we're teaching a networking course, we have networking professionals that would actually conduct these classes. Programming, quite the same. We have developers that are actually lecturing for that unit, right? So it's actually, experienced individuals delivering our classes at CTS College. Now, here's a little bit about the features of the bachelor's in information technology offered by the University of Bedfordshire, specifically with the UoB. The program is globally accessible, work applied, accelerated in terms of learning, affordable, and of course, fully accredited. So we're going to look at each one of these in depth. So when we look at fully accredited, the program is accredited by the Quality Assurance Agency. The University of Bedfordshire was subjected to a QAA review and has successfully met the expectations of the QAA. And you might be asking, what is the QAA? Right? They are the Quality Assurance Agency. They are basically the equivalent to what ACTT is in Trinidad and Tobago. That's the Accreditation Council, but in the UK. So they would annually review universities, right? And University of Bedfordshire has continued to pass the evaluations, etc., and to continue to be an institute of excellence. And the University of Bedfordshire is also a recognized awarding body in Trinidad and Tobago by the ACTT. So you can get a job locally, regionally, within the Caribbean, that is, and of course, internationally. So you're covered all around. You're fully covered. In terms, sorry, you all hear me? Might cut off there for a moment. Sorry. So I'm not sure where I would have left you guys there, but in terms of transnational quality, right, we have a lot of marketing and promotions, admissions, faculty approval, teaching materials, assessments. They have annual audits as well that CTS College would undergo, and a lot of continuous feedback and reviews. So we are being constantly monitored in terms of the way that we offer classes, the way that we have our programs conducted as well. So given that we're constantly being reviewed, there's no room for mistakes. And given that that is the case, we're always striving to achieve excellence in everything that we do. In terms of the certificate, because a lot of you might actually, might not get the opportunity to look at what you would be achieving at the end of it. And over here, this is the actual degree certificate that you will be achieving at the end of level 6 when you complete the program, right? So this student, well, this is your program manager, Aaron. He would have achieved his first class honors in the bachelor's in IT program with us at CTS College, right? So this is what you would be presented with, along, of course, with your letter of completion and your transcript that comes directly from the University of Bedfordshire. In terms of globally accessible, more than 20,000 students from over 120 countries, which we did touch on, right? The education partners are from China, Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Trinidad and Tobago. The University of Bedfordshire also has an online learning environment called Brio, and it's available 24/7 from anywhere in the world. And once you become a student of the University of Bedfordshire, you send in your application and you are accepted. You would soon have access to Brio. So all of your materials, learning materials, would be posted there by the university. You have your submission links. You would have a lot of videos and practical assessments, etc., would be taking place on Brio, right? And there's also a student information desk, or SID, that's open 24/7 to support students from anywhere in the world. So you have an issue logging into one of your accounts, no problem. You can contact the student information desk at any point in TT time, like any time at all, and you should be able to get a timely response to resolve that issue, right? And of course, we here at CTS College, in addition to Brio, where all of your resources would be centralized, there's also something that we offer as well, just to make sure that the information is duplicated, and we do have a backup in the case of something happening to Brio and there's some sort of temporary outage. We have to make sure that our students are covered as well. So we would have centralized a lot of university material on a CTS, well, what we call it as the shared drive. It's really a Google Drive, a bunch of folders as well, given structured in like the various levels that we have throughout our program. There's a lot of previous lectures. There's a lot of lecture notes that would be currently used by the university, etc. Right, and we have a lot of samples and stuff like that for you all could actually follow along with the assessments, etc. Right, so we've centralized a lot of the material there, primarily located in Brio. We've taken it out from them. We centralize it for you so that you have many different areas that you can go and get information that you need to support your assignments or to support you in terms of your learning. In terms of the practical aspect of the Bachelor's in Information Technology, this program is structured in such a way, I should say the assignments are structured in such a way that it helps you in solving real IT challenges. So you get hands-on experience in developing IT systems. You get the opportunity to deliver IT solutions that support a wide range of business functions, and you learn to develop systems with excellent design through understanding of human-computer interaction required in modern IT systems. Here's an example of that. So over here, we have a student would have actually been given a problem to propose a IT-based solution for a given IT problem. The student identified a problem, and it's actually a local problem as well. It's associated with the PTSC in Trinidad and Tobago. That's the public transportation services. And this student would have actually proposed a fleet management system, right, for PTSC, right? So they basically would have identified a given business problem and proposed an IT-based solution to that problem as well. So when we speak about practical, you are given a problem and you have the ability to solve that problem, right? Not just with a proposal, but actually following through in terms of development. So the student would have actually progressed on to develop the actual fleet management solution, the fleet management system for BTSC. In terms of accelerated, we speak directly about learning. So we're speaking about the time frame in which you can complete the program. And each level in this program consists of 4 units or 4 modules, which can be done in 2 semesters. And each semester is 4 months. So we take that multiplied by 2. It takes you roughly 8 months to complete a level, right? So there's 3 levels in the program, level 4, 5, and 6, each one being 8 months long to complete, consisting of 2 semesters, 4 months each. So if you start at level 4, which is the entry point, right, or year 1, you have the ability to complete your bachelor's degree in just over 2 years. So we'll have a look at that a bit closer in terms of the time aspect a bit later on. In terms of affordability, the University of Bedfordshire, the University of Bedfordshire's BSc IT program is one of the more affordable programs in Trinidad right now. Our payment plans at CTS College make achieving your bachelor's degree a financially viable option. And we also partner with other institutions such as GMMB to assist students in obtaining a student loan, given that you have some sort of financial issues and you want to pursue your bachelor's degree. We would actually, have something worked out with GMMB to assist you in progressing and paying off your tuition and actually finishing the bachelor's degree, of course. And of course, like you could always pay off later. So in terms of the structure of the program, right, as we would have mentioned a bit earlier, the BSc IT is made up of 3 levels. You have level 4, year 1, level 5, year 2, and level 6, year 3. Level 4 is ideal for CAPE holders or persons with 2 years plus IT work experience, or you can present IT certifications, or you can have 3 years general work experience paired with CSEC qualifications, right? Doesn't have to be IT related, but once it's paired with CSEC qualifications, you stand a very high chance at getting in at level 4. At level 5, you must have a level 4 IT diploma, or you could have 2 years IT work experience together with IT certifications, and you should be able to get into level 5. Now at level 6, given that's the final year, you must have a lot of IT certifications, a lot of IT related work experience. So an associate's, an HND, or level 5 IT diploma, or at least 6 years in an IT related field, and you must have IT related seats as well if you're using work experience paired with those, right? So these are a bit of insight in terms of what is required to get into each level as well, and just identifying, what levels are there. Now, each level, you would have 4 units of 4 subjects. Now, every semester you'll be doing basically 2 out of that 4 units, right? And in your second semester, you'll be doing the other 2, right? So they worked on a rotation system. Now, here's the actual structure, right? If you start at level 4, how long would it take for you to complete the program? So we have level 4, right, with semester 1 of 4 months and semester 2 of 4 months. So roughly, you take roughly 8 months to complete level 4. Right? So you finish your first semester, move straight on to the second semester, and you finish off, right? Then there's level 5, which is another semester of 4 months for your first semester, and your second semester, another 4 months, 8 months to complete level 5. Level 6, pretty much the same thing. 2 semesters of 4 months each, 8 months to complete level 6. So in between each one of these levels, so let's say you finish level 4 of 8 months, before you move on to level 5, there are, like, what the university will have mandated as well to be a semester break. And this semester break is 4 months. And this would happen if you start at level 4 and you finish at level and you're going on to level 5, you'll be placed on a mandatory 4-month semester break before you move on to level 5. Similarly, once you finish level 5 and you're going on to level 6, you'll have to take a 4-month break before you resume your studies. So if you start all the way at level 4 and you have to finish your program all the way to level 6, it would take you roughly 2 years of studies, 8 months, 8 months, 8 months, 8 3s are 24, 24 months, basically 2 years, right? And then you would have 8 months of break, 4 months here and 4 months here. Right? So it would roughly take you 2 years, 8 months to complete the program if you start all the way at level 4. But what if you start at level 5, right? Again, the structure is the same. 4 months and 4 months, 2 semesters of 4 months each, 8 months to complete level 5, right? And then level 6, two semesters of 4 months each, 8 months to complete level 6. And in between these levels, we have a semester break of 4 months. It should take you roughly 16 months of studies and 4 months of break. So roughly 20 months. That's just under 2 years, I believe. So we have level 6. If you start directly at level 6, you just have 2 semesters of 4 months each, 8 months of studies, no break, right? So depending on what current qualifications that you possess or work experience as well, you can bypass level 4 and 5 and start directly at 6, or if you prefer to start at level 5 or 4, your choice, depending on your current work experience and of course qualifications. So students usually ask us, we have this huge break in between. A lot of students are concerned about this as well, because if you look at this, you basically have 8 months of break if you start at level 4. If you do level 5, you basically have 4 months of break, and that 4-month period, during that 8-month period, or that 4-month period in total, students feel like they might be actually missing out a lot, or maybe they are concerned of when they resume their studies, I wouldn't be in the right frame of mind to continue studying at all, because like during that 4-month break, I've actually, loosened up a bit. I've gotten away from studies, and it's going to be hard to transition back into, studying late at night or doing my assignments on time and stuff like that. So what can I do then? Or maybe I just don't want to lose my way. I want to keep doing something, even though I have to be on break. Could I do something in the meanwhile? Yes, you can. So at CTS College, we have a ton of different IT certification courses. These would be, for example, the ones that we would like to recommend. That would be like Adobe Photoshop. We have CompTIA A+, we have web design. We have a whole lot more as well. These are some that we would actually recommend that you do before you start the next level. So it actually complements some of the things that you would be doing in the BSc in IT, right? But you can cover that during your 4-month break, etc. In addition to that, we have a lot of personal development courses. You don't want to do anything IT related, you want to break from it, no problem. We have a whole lot of other things that you can have a look at as well, right? So for example, project management, financial management, business writing skills, and a whole lot more. And the good thing is, all of these can actually be found at ctscollege.com/certifications. And doesn't matter whatever program, whatever short course that you want to do, if you're interested in doing one during your semester break, you get 40% off as being a BSc IT student, right? The rule of thumb is once you express interest in the course and you're on semester break in the BSc IT program, you automatically get 40% off any course that you choose, doesn't matter which, IT certification, professional development, DIY, anything at all. And this is only valid for the BSc IT students. This is something special that we've been doing for you. And a lot of students have actually taken advantage of this as well. So if you probably want to evaluate what you could do, you can do a short course at CTS at 40% off, given that you are a BSc IT student on break. Apart from that, a lot of students, they don't want to do that extra course. They don't want to do it. So what we usually do is that we allow the students to sit into the next level of classes. So like you just finished level 4, no problem. You want to sit into level 5 classes just to see what it's like, maybe try attempting your assignment before time, right? And just, have it there until you actually enrolled and you're ready to submit it. You could submit it. So basically you're saving your own time in terms of the amount of pressure that you'll be putting yourself in that semester. So we would allow students to sit into class even though they are on break. That's something that we would endorse as well, to get them, to get their work completed on time. Maybe they could focus on one unit and actually, attempt the assignment. And when they actually enroll, they would submit it. And a lot of students have taken advantage of this as well. And they've done really well, given that they have a more time to really, evaluate all of the information given in classes, etc. And it's not a rush. So they're a bit more relaxed, and it allows them to open up a bit more and try to understand the topic rather than just meeting the assignment deadline. So we endorse the idea. We encourage students to sit into the classes as well, but the choice is yours, right? So those are some of the options that we have for you during that 4-month or the 8-month break, depending. So the cost of these, it may differ, right? I don't have a full listing of the costs as well, right? But probably at the end of the session, if you're still around, I have no problem just running them through with you all off the recording. Yeah, all right. So what exactly would be covered while you do this program? So at level 4, throughout the various levels, we're going to evaluate what is actually done at each level. So level 4, if you start at level 4, right, you would be exposed to a lot of networking through Cisco Networking Academy. You would also get an introduction to SQL, which is the structured query language. That's language for database administration, database creation, development of your queries, statements, etc. You would also work with Oracle, Java, and Python. So you cover 2 core programming languages at level 4, in addition to Oracle. Now, we don't do Microsoft Access at all anymore, right? I believe that it was in a previous assessment, they've actually replaced Microsoft Access with the use of Oracle Apex, which is Oracle Application Express, right? So they've actually tried to modernize it a bit more just to ensure that you are up to date with, what's currently being used in the industry. So that's what you will be covering at level 4. A lot of networking, a lot of programming, and a lot of database administration or database work. And level 5, you do a lot more in terms of the user aspect of IT systems as well. So you cover user experience design or UXD, how the design would work on different devices. So, a design for a like a website, a design for a mobile application, etc. You also learn a bit more about how software and hardware can work together, how to develop systems securely by designing, like by design and looking at different approaches that can be used to test software. So you do a lot of testing, a lot of evaluation, a lot of work at looking at your end users and developing a solution that is best suited for them. And of course, this also there's actually an entire module that prepares you for the interview room and assists you in mapping out a possible career path within the IT-related field. This is something that's very important. Not a lot of students actually see the value of actually developing their career path from very early, because after a lot of students, I've spoken to a lot of students as well, and when they've started the program, I want to be a programmer. A programmer is so wide. There's a lot of for example, sub rules from that one rule, right? So when they actually do the program and they actually realize that there's a lot more to just programming, right? They actually start, thinking, okay, well, perhaps I want to get specifically into web development. Maybe I want to get into database. So they actually start evaluating what they want to do. And to assist them in doing that, we have an entire unit, or the university has included an entire subject that relates directly to the job aspect of IT, and having them develop a portfolio in terms of where they would be or what they would be doing in the future in terms of the job. So they have the ability to like map out everything on paper, develop smart goals, do some sort of analysis, etc. And a lot of students, after doing this assignment, have if not like an entire clear idea, they have a lot better understanding in terms of what is required for them to get from point A to point B in terms of their career path within IT, right? So a very important and a very wonderful aspect of it as well. So at level 6, you would be doing a lot, and I mean a lot of programming. There's a lot of independent learning through project work and research techniques on new technologies. During this period, you would produce a completely working software artifact and an accompanying technical report. And you would also have an entire unit in terms of IT project management, and you would also be required to design an interactive software prototype with a user experience design emphasis using Azure. So a lot of work with Azure as well, a lot of work with Bootstrap, a lot of work with PHP, JavaScript, etc. So for your final project, you're expected to develop like an e-commerce solution, right? So we encourage students to do an e-commerce solution, but of course you can do any type of solution that you'd like to do as well. So here's some examples of some of the projects that students have actually worked on as well. And there's a lot, like a whole lot, but we actually pick a couple of the ones that scored really high. So this is an example of a digital wallet that a student developed from CTS College for one of their assignments as well, right? So this is the web version of it, or basically the desktop version to it, right? So this is the login screen. They have the actual view of their dashboard when the user logs in, and they've actually created a prototype for mobile devices as well. This year would be an example of the e-commerce solution. The student developed an online store for art supplies, right? So they have their basically their main page, they have their product listing. They also implemented a chatbot. So like, for example, if you're having issues or you're looking for something and you can't seem to find it, you can chat with you could chat with someone fully online, right, to have your issues solved right there while you shop. And of course, there's also the admin side of things. So not only the customer side, they fully develop the back end of the system as well that the administrators would utilize to add products or, adjust the prices on each one of the items that they have on their online store, etc. Right? So these are just some. There's a whole lot more that we would have included, but we've removed it because we would spend all day looking at projects that students would have worked on. But it's quite wonderful to actually know or actually see what you should be able to do or what you will be able to do once you finish this program or throughout your experience with the program, as a matter of fact. So in terms of fitting the BSc IT in your life, right? This is a common question that students ask, like, how exactly do I fit classes and all of that into my life? What are my semesters? When can I start? So we have 2 semesters, or really 3 semesters, honestly, but we have 2 intake periods. So we would have a February to May semester, then we would have a June to September semester, then we would have an October to December semester or September to December semester, right? But we would only intake students into the program into the February semester and the October semester. Currently, the university is planning to remove the June to September semester entirely, right? So there will just simply be 2 semesters for the entire, academic year, right? But they're doing that eventually. So there still is a June semester, right? But only level 5 and level 6 applicants are allowed for June. If you are interested in starting at level 4, your application will be pushed back to October later on this year, right? But all students who are interested in starting directly at level 5 and level 6 would have the ability to start in our June to September semester this year, right? So roughly we can easily see that eventually there will be 2 intake periods per year, that being February and October. There's tentatively one for June right now, but it's only available for level 5 and level 6 applicants. If you're interested in starting at level 4, your application most likely would be pushed to October. Right, so if you'd like to discuss this a bit, closer or over the phone, I'll be more than happy to, because this is questionable as well. And of course, we would love to hear from you as well. So we'll try to see if we could get your application in for June, but it's highly likely that it wouldn't, and it will be pushed to October, right? So in terms of the unit of subject delivery, we have like every single class that we offer, it's 2 hours per class, right? And you may have a amount of 3, 4 classes per week, right? If your class falls on any time during the week, like Monday to Friday, it would be in the afternoon period to compensate for persons, who work throughout the day. And everyone, all levels, would have 1 class on Saturday at least, right? And those classes would range from, for example, like as early as 8 a.m., sometimes all the way until like 2 p.m. or so. All right, so each subject or each unit is typically assessed by 2 or 3 assessments, right? So you would have 2 assignments per module or per subject that you're studying, and you're studying 2 subjects per semester, 2 modules or 2 units per semester, right? So that'll be roughly 4 assignments that you would have to submit across the 2 units that you're doing in your first semester and second semester, right? And a semester typically would last 15 weeks long, roughly 12 to 15 weeks long. It may differ given some time constraints as well in terms of thing. So there's also a 2-week break at the end of the semester. Let's just say that you finish your first semester in any level. Before you begin your second semester, there's like a little gap in between that you can use to clear off your fees while we prepare to have, our lecturers and stuff ready for you all for the new semester. This is not to be confused with the semester break. The semester break happens when you finish a level, but these smaller breaks is not that. It's basically when you finish your first semester before the second one begins, there's a little break that you would get while we prepare for your second semester. When you finish the level, then you would be getting the bigger 4-month break. So this is our tentative timetable for our June semester. This semester would start June the 10th, 2023, right? We have inductions tentatively set as June the 3rd and the 7th, respectively. And the registration deadline would be July the 1st, right? And the semester is expected to end around September the 1st for that particular one. So we have like a tentative schedule for our level 4 classes, our level 5 classes, level 6 classes as well, right? So we can see here that students, typically would have 3 days of classes per week. If you're a level 4 student, you'll have 1 day of class if you're level 5, because there's roughly, basically only two subjects that you'll be covering, but both of them are covered on the Saturday itself. So your class will be from like 10:50 to 12:15, 12:45 to 2:45, etc. At level 6, you would see a separate schedule for new students. So if you're now starting, these are the two modules you will do, right? And your classes would be on Saturdays and Thursdays. From the Saturday class will be from 10:30 to 12:30. Your Thursday class will be 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Thursdays. And continuing students, basically students who finish their first semester and doing their second semester, they would have 3 classes. So you can actually see, right, how much, it's not every single day you're gonna have a class, right? But the classes are well shifted as well, right? So that you can complete all of the work necessary in preparation for your actual assignment that's due within the semester, right? So this timetable would actually be emailed to you as well after our session. And this is actually subject to change as well, right? So just please be informed that this is tentative and we're not setting this in stone as well. So there might be some shifts in terms of the day and time of classes, right? But these units are actually to be offered within that semester itself. In terms of online learning, yeah, this entire program is actually currently online. So all of these classes will be taking place on Zoom, just as we're doing a meeting now. Your classes would be on Zoom as well. There's links and reminders we'd send for each one, just to ensure that you are entering each one as well. And we keep track of this through rules, and we have you added to our WhatsApp chats, and we would send reminders there as well. So all of these would be online classes. Just for now, we've spoken with the ACTT, right? And we've spoken with the University of Bedfordshire, we eventually would have to resume like face-to-face classes, but the student would still most likely have the option to pick whether they want to do online or face-to-face classes, right? But it would return, I can't say when, right? Probably for the rest of this year, everything will remain online, but I'm basically assuming that maybe early next year or mid next year, they would, finalize in terms of discussion, and then we would probably present the face-to-face option once more, but I can't say for sure, right? But for now, feel free to, rest at ease. Everything is online for now. And then, even when they implement face-to-face, it would still be the option of you having to choose whether you want the online or face-to-face when you register with CTS College. All right. So in terms of support, what support do we have available? We have face-to-face and phone support at CTS College in terms of academic support, administrative, or maybe you just want some advice, right? We give you course information and support. We have support for applications as well. So if you're having issues filling out your application, no problem, contact me, contact any one of CTS staff. They will be able to direct you. In terms of academic support, we have induction, just basically explaining what is required for you given that you've been accepted and you're starting your program. And we have one-on-one support, right? And these one-on-one support sessions are totally free, of course. In addition to the classes that were actually shown on the timetable, we do some separate sessions that would prepare you for your assignment. If you still don't understand in those support sessions that we do, right, we have no problem working with students on a one-to-one basis. Just simply request a time and I'll be more than happy to work with that student on a one-to-one basis, totally free, of course. We are here, we are your resources. Let us be your resources. Let us work with you to get you where you need to be. It's not a problem. In terms of the administrative support, any tips or basically anything that you need in terms of registration, payment, letters, perhaps you want to take something to the bank or maybe the embassy, we have you covered in terms of those. And for any general student inquiries as well, we provide assistance for those as well. In terms of online support, right, this would come from the University of Bedfordshire. There's the student information or the student online portal, which is Brio. Once you become a student of the University of Bedfordshire, you will get access to Brio. So your study materials would be there, your study support report guides will be there, your grades, your feedback, and your submissions of your assignments would take place there as well, right? And the University of Bedfordshire actually has an online library where you have access to journals, readings, papers, complementary resources as well. In terms of the support from CTS College or the BSc IT team, to specifically, we provide information, help, assistance, guidance, competence, solution, direction, and general advice as well to all of our students. And we also love to do promotions as well. So we have created a BSc IT Instagram page as well, where we would host a lot of promotions throughout semesters, maybe 1 or 2 per semester, where we have like giveaways as well. And, our most recent giveaway was basically, for students, we have asked a question out just to get feedback from students as well, right? And based on the response, we gave prizes on those. So some of those prizes would have been like free movie tickets, maybe 3 or 4 movie tickets to Movie Town. We've given tuition off discounts as well as a prize, etc. So these are some of the things that we would do throughout the semesters. We also plan on hosting, a lot of events with you all, because we want to get you to know you all a bit better, just outside of school, outside of the assignments, outside of the hustle. That's totally fine. We still want to get to know you as an individual, as our student, right? Developing these bonds as well would definitely, better our understanding of how we view each other as well. So it's great to have just step outside of the learning, just step outside of the school aspect of it, and let's become a bit more personalized in terms of developing not just a classroom environment, but a bit more family oriented, fun environment for learning as well. So we would probably host events that would involve you, but require you to come out into, like, for example, we would have a family and fun day at CTS College. But for this program, we plan on doing like something like a movie night or something where we invite students to just come aboard, that kind of thing. So in terms of induction, question on chat, course materials, soft hard copies, cost for books, nothing. You have to pay for nothing. Your tuition and registration and university fees cover everything. So all of the books and materials we have is totally free for you to use. And if you need anything, just let us know and we can outsource it for you as well, right? Totally free of cost. So all of those those are already paid for. There's nothing to worry about, no additional cost there as well. In terms of induction, you are introduced to the course and structure. You have your referencing guidelines, because referencing is a big thing with the university. So we have, as a part of our induction session, you would have noticed that there's 2 days for induction. The reason why is, one, we would introduce the course. The second one is usually an academic writing workshop, because with the assignments associated with the University of Bedfordshire, it involves a lot of research. It involves a lot of referencing. Basically, you would want outside information or credible information to support your point sometimes within your report or your essay or whatever you're presenting, right? There's a specific way to, basically, you don't want to actually take that piece of information that you would have found online, put it into your work and call it your own. That's plagiarism, right? So there's a specific way in terms of like giving acknowledgement to the actual author of that piece of work that you're using as a reference, right? So there's a specific way it's structured, so that, like, for example, you would see in a lot of academic writing, there's reference, so basically acknowledgement given to a specific writer within the body of the work. And then at the end, there's like a big section for references, all of the materials that were utilized to support your points. There's a specific structure for that as well. And we familiarize you with that structure. That's called the Harvard referencing system. And that's set by the university. So they have their own structure for the way that you should format your references for your work as well. So we run you through the ins and the outs in terms of plagiarism, in terms of academic writing as well, how to paraphrase, how to present your work in a timely manner. All of those would be covered in that session. So that's why we have 2 parts of induction. In terms of assessments, you would be assessed in a variety of ways, mostly through coursework, group and individual projects, yes, group work as well, right? Portfolios, essays, presentation, and exams. Now, exams are actually very minimal. I believe you have 2 exams at level 4, and these exams are very small and very easy to complete. I assure you that once you study. And at level 5, you have 1 exam. After that, it's not really a lot of exams as well, as some of these may vary from structured to actual multiple choice. So the bulk of your marks in any given unit, or the bulk of the marks for your assignments would be like the coursework or the group and individual projects, the portfolios, the essays, the presentations, not so much the exams. The exams are weighted a bit lighter in terms of your final grade. All right. So there's constant feedback and advice from your lecturer, and the BSc IT team would also provide extra support sessions for you all totally free, of course. If you want a one-on-one session to assist with your assignment, not a problem. All right. In terms of passing your units and progressing, in order to pass a unit, in order to pass a subject, you must attempt all of the assignments unless you will specify, well, unless someone advises you otherwise, but the BSc IT team is the only one that can advise you in terms of what you need to do in terms of your units. All right, so unless we tell you differently, right, you have to pass all of your assignments. Now, in terms of this, you typically have 2 assignments per module or 2 assignments per subject or unit, right? So you must pass both of them, right? And each one of these are 30 credits each. So basically, to pass a subject, you must gain a total grade of 40% in both basically your assignment 1 and your assignment 2 for the unit must total up to be 40% in total for the entire subject. If you get anything less than 40%, like 39, you're basically gone. The unit would have been failed. Now, to progress between levels, like let's say that you're going from level 4 to level 5 and then level 5 to level 6, you must pass at least 90 credits. So you must pass 3 units for the level with a grade of 40% minimum. And in the other module that you didn't do so well in, right, you must at least get 35% in that one in order to progress. Otherwise, you would have to repeat the module, or you would be getting a referral for the assignment as well, so that you can basically repeat it and pass it so that you can progress, right? So you must gain your full 120 credits in each level before you move on to the next. Otherwise, you're going to have to repeat that module. You're going to have to look back at the assignments as well. You'll be given an opportunity to rewrite it totally free of cost. If you fail that, then you would have to pay to retake the unit entirely, and you wouldn't be allowed to progress unless you finish that unit, pass everything, and then you'll be able to progress on. Right? But rarely ever we have situations where student would fail an entire unit. They may fail an assessment and be given a referral totally free of cost. So they would just do the referral, submit it, and then of course they would be allowed to progress. But we only had like maybe 2 or 3 incidents where student would have failed that module over like maybe an entire year, an entire academic year. So these are very, very rare issues because most of our students follow through with the guidance and support that we provide. So they don't have any reason as well to fail anything, as we would have shown earlier in terms of our pass rates. It's really, really high. So very little to fear there, but just making sure that you all are well aware that you have to do your work once you start the program. Otherwise, things like this are going to start to happen, and it's going to become a financial burden for you if you have to repeat units, etc. Right? So in terms of the award classification, we have first class honors, upper second, lower second, and third class honors. Now, first class honors would be an average of 70% or more. Upper second would be a range of 60 to 69%. Lower second would be 50 to 59, and then third class honors would be 40 to 49%. In terms of our recent results, we would have gotten 43 first class honors in our February 22 semester. We would have gotten in June 2022, 31 students with first class honors and 1 student with an upper second. So you can actually see rarely ever a student gets like a lower second to a third class honor. It's mostly first class and upper second. We currently are waiting our October 2022 results as well, but without a doubt, I'm pretty sure that students would have gotten really excellent grades as well. We're waiting with the university to finalize those as well, but I'm pretty happy to report that I believe most students have passed all of their assignments there, and I'm pretty sure that the entire class would have gotten first class honors and maybe 1 or 2 upper seconds as well. In terms of the resources that you would need to complete this program, well, the college, given that we have to compensate for the whole idea of moving back to like face-to-face classes eventually, not entirely, but eventually, right? The college, CTS College, has Wi-Fi access in our campus available to students, as well as core textbooks available on our shared drive space, and we also have a library at our campus as well, right? Now, students, given that you are doing this course or this entire program online, right, you must have access to Wi-Fi and a computer. It might be asking spec-wise anything. Well, the program does have a lot of programming involved as well, right? So I'm recommending that you have something, for example, with an i3 processor or equivalent, probably like a 10th Gen 11 or 12. That's not a problem, right? A sufficient memory. When we say memory, we're speaking about RAM, random access memory. We're looking at anything from 4 GB to 8 GB. Once you can complete your assignments, you can do the work required in terms of your programming, it's totally fine, right? Recommending that you have something with an SSD, right? It's new standard as well, so there's no issues in terms of running any applications or any IDEs or software that you need to do your assignments, right? But HDD drives are totally fine, right? So you need sufficient storage, processing power, and random access memory on your machine once you're doing the program, right? But any typical computer should, like, for example, like the most basic laptop can do the majority of everything that you need to do throughout the program, right? So there's nothing, you don't need to bust your pocket here, right? It's totally fine if you already have a machine. If you're experiencing issues and stuff like that, we can assist you in trying to help out to solve these issues with your machine, right? But most students who, they just utilize any laptop or any computer or desktop and everything works totally fine. Yes, so software wise, we have basically everything that you need. So if there's like a paid subscription for a specific software that we use, we've purchased a CD key, right, or a license for that software that's is basically available for all students. So like, for example, where there's like a software that you have to use to develop prototypes, I believe it's Balsamic, and there's also Figma. There's a lot of other software that we would use for designing, right? There's licenses that we would have purchased for the students. So we would basically provide it to you. You just enter it and you have insight. Now, apart from that, the University of Bedfordshire, being a student, also gives you student access to a Microsoft 365 package online though. If you have Office installed, like genuine Office installed, and the subscription has expired, the free trial has expired, you can actually use your university email that you would get once you become a student to sign in, and you should have student access to basic Microsoft Office services like Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, and I believe you would also have OneNote, OneDrive, and one other thing, I can't remember, I think Publisher or something like that, but you would have access to it. So you don't have to worry about, well, I do have access to Office, how am I going to write my assignments? If you don't get through with that, totally fine. You can use Microsoft Docs, etc., to complete your assignments as well. But basically, any software that is required required for you to use for your assignments, it would be provided by us. If not us, the university would take care of it. All right. So there's no additional cost anywhere. We're cutting back on everything. You just pay your tuition, registration, and university fees, and we have everything else for you. In terms of graduation, well, where graduate? Where would I graduate? There's actually two places that you can graduate, or two options for graduation. So there's a CTS graduation that we would usually host at the end of every year at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, right? So all of our students would have completed one of our bachelor degree programs or the master programs at CTS College. We would have them attend, well, we would invite them to attend the graduation ceremony there. And there's also the graduation with the University of Bedfordshire that's actually going to take place in the UK, but I'm not quite sure when, or like if it's something yearly. I believe it's something yearly, but they would notify us, the BSCIT team, when it actually takes place, and we would mention it to students as well. So if you'd like to graduate in the UK as well, totally fine. But a lot of students actually show interest in graduating with CTS College at Hyatt at the end of the year, because at the end they want to actually meet their lecturers, meet the academic staff, and interact with each other after being so, like, basically in contact with us for so long. They want to actually put a face to the name as well. And students want to meet their peers that they would have gotten throughout their experience with the program as well. All right, but the choice is yours at the end of the day. In terms of qualifying, we're going to look at the entry requirements one more time. So for level 4, successful candidates should possess any one of the following. So it's either you have 2 years IT work experience, or K passes, or any previous tertiary level qualification, or any IT certifications, or if you have just CSEC with 2 years work experience general, right? Or if you have IT certifications, perfectly fine. So this level is ideal for persons who have some IT work experience, not too much, or like they just want to kickstart their career in IT, no problem. If you have K passes or tertiary level qualification or mature candidates with 3 years of work experience, you can start this level. And the evidence that we need to support your application would be, of course, the application form filled out and signed by the student, together with a job letter. If you're using work experience to support your application, you must provide your job letter or resume. You have your academic certificate, so your CSEC certificate, your CAPE certificate. Let's say that you did a short course, you have to provide your IT certifications as well. And we need a copy of your ID or passport. Driver's permit is not really considered a valid form of ID with the University of Bedfordshire, or with most UK-based universities. They prefer to see a national form of ID, that being your national ID or your passport, right? So either if you don't have your passport, you can use the ID. If you don't have your ID or passport, for much younger students, birth paper would be fine, right? And once you get your ID, we will update your application with the ID. That's not a problem. But if you don't have any of those, like your ID expired, you don't have a passport, and you're a mature candidate, you can utilize your driver's permit, and we can update them once you have your ID renewed. So that's not a problem. All right. So in terms of level 5 entry requirements, successful candidates must possess any one of the following: a level 4 IT diploma or qualification in IT with K passes, or they could have a combination of IT work experience, at least 2 years, with academic or professional qualifications relating to IT. So either a straight up a level 4 IT diploma or equivalent, or they could have a combination of K passes with 2 years IT work experience, or they could have a combination of IT work experience with academic or professional qualifications in relation to IT. So this is ideal for someone who has previously completed a level 4 IT qualification, a certificate or a diploma qualification. For example, I believe institutes like SAMS or SPCS actually have like a level 4 IT diploma, level 5 IT diploma. So when we say level 4 IT qualification, it would relate to some of those as well. That's some of the other institutes that are offering in Trinidad and Tobago, or perhaps internationally. Maybe you have IT equivalents that you would have achieved from some regional university or probably some international university. You can actually utilize those as well. Now, apart from that, right, you can also utilize, well, this level, persons can start with a combination of IT work experience who also possess IT certifications as well. So the evidence that we need to support is quite the same: copy of your job letter if you're using work experience, copy of your academic certs, copy of your professional certifications if you have those as well, and your ID or passport, and a copy of your resume together with the application form. At level 6, since it's the final year, we need a lot. The university needs a lot of evidence that you would have actually done a lot of IT related work, or you have, high standing IT qualifications, etc., right? To allow you to bypass level 4 and level 5 and start directly at level 6. Now, successful candidates should possess any one of the following: a level 5 diploma or an HND or an associate's degree in IT or an IT related field, right? So students have used information systems management, or ISM. They actually got into the program as well. There's students who have utilized telecommunication, I believe something in relation to telecommunications. I can't remember the exact qualification, but they've actually gotten into level 6 as well. So into a bit further into this as well, a combination of IT work experience, at least 4 years, with academic and or professional qualifications can also get you into level 6 as well. Just to reiterate, this level of the program is ideal for persons who have completed a level 5 IT qualification, such as a diploma, an HND, or an associate's degree. And it's also for persons as well with extensive IT work experience who also possess IT certification. Let's say you've been in the field for so long, you've worked at maybe 5, 6 different institutions throughout the years, and you have job letters or like your resume even to showcase that as well. And maybe you would have possessed a couple of IT certifications. You can use that to get into the program with your application form. Right. So the evidence will be the copy of the job letter, copy of your academic certifications, copy of your professional certifications, copy of your ID or passport, and copy of your resume. So those there would have been the entry requirements for level 4, 5, and 6 respectively. So how do you apply? So Applying for any one of the levels from level 4 all the way to level 6, you must complete the application form. We can assist you in filling out that form as well. If you're not familiar or you're having trouble to do so, not a problem. It does not need to be printed and then signed and sent back to us. We can have your signature placed on it digitally as well if you'd like to do that. You must send us your CV and ID. You must, like, if you're using if you'd like to utilize a job letter to support your application, right, it must come directly from your employer confirming the job title and the duration of the employment in that position. The salary information is it's private credentials. We don't need access to that. All we need is just simply a letter stating that, you know, you would have worked as an worked at XYZ position within the company for XYZ amount of years, and that should be more than enough, right? The letter should also clearly specify that the position was indeed a position. So IT project manager or system developer, whatever the case might be, right? It must specify clearly as a position, right? And in terms of your academics, right? I know students who would have completed an associate's in IT and they only have the transcripts. That's totally fine. If you only have your transcripts, you can submit those transcripts. That's totally fine, right? So eventually, once you get the certificate, you'll just simply send it to us and we can update the application, but we would send it tentatively with the transcripts just to get you approved with the University of Bedfordshire, right? And in terms of your IT certification, same thing applies. You can supply your IT certifications digitally, scan copies, pictures, whatever the case might be. This is a deeper look into the application process. So we know what we have to submit. We know what we have to do to apply, but you know, what are the steps associated with the application process itself? So of course, we start with the application. The student applies via the application form. They send us the supporting documents. We now would compile that and we would send it to the University of Bedfordshire. And we now have to await feedback from the University of Bedfordshire. So this would be anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, right? So given that the university responds within that time frame, they would respond via your letter of offer, right? And that letter of offer basically is an acceptance letter. And once we get that, we would inform you. They send it to us and then we would contact the student, notifying them that they would have been accepted, and we would transfer over that letter to them. Now, on the letter of offer, there's actually 3 options. One, to accept the offer and start right away. There's another one that would allow you to start, well, basically to accept the offer, but to start at a later date. So like, let's just say you don't want to start this semester, that's no problem. I'll start next time, but I'm still accepted, right? So basically for students who, you know, they want to start the program and for some reason, you know, like they don't have the correct finances to start right away, you can still apply, you can get approved. And then when you have the finances, you can always return because you've already been accepted, right? So once we get the acceptance letter and we send it back to you, you'll need to sign it and let us know that you're ready to start or what exactly you'd like to be doing. Now, if you choose to start, that's when you would be invoiced. So all the way up to this point, you don't have to pay anything at all. The application process up to the acceptance stage is totally free. From the time that you sign that letter and you indicate to us that you want to start your studies in the next available semester, we will invoice you accordingly. We would register you on our systems and make sure that you follow through with registration with the university. So you start paying your fees, and then of course you should be all prepared. So we will invite you to our class, put you in our class listings. We would have you included on our mailing list for reminders. And of course, you would be added to our WhatsApp group so you can receive reminders there. And that WhatsApp group would act as your classroom environment, or basically the environment that you would actually engage with other students as well, doing the same doing the same program with you within the same level that you are in, right? And of course, you'll be all ready to start your class on the 10th of June 2023 as our tentative start date for the June semester. All right, so that there is the application process, the steps between applying and starting. So hope that cleared it up for you guys in full. In terms of the cost now, probably the most important aspect of the program, right? This is a cost per level. This is the full cost per level. So let me just get my pen tool here. So at level 4, just year 1, right? The number of units that you'll be doing is 4, right? So 4 subjects, right? Now CTS registration fee is actually a standard rate, and this is paid per semester. So you would have 2 semesters per level, right? So each semester you'll be expected to pay 500, right? 500 TT dollars. In tuition at level 4, right? The cost per unit is $2,000, and since you have 4 units, it will be a total of 8,000 TT dollars, right? And this is for the entire level itself. So this is what it would cost you in total for tuition for the entire level. Per semester, right? You'll be only doing 2 units per semester, but 4 units overall. So this is like pretty much the overall cost. If you want to calculate per semester, it would be 4,000, not 8,000. All right. In terms of the university fee, it's quite similar to the way that we would actually charge our tuition fees. So basically, it would be £150 per module. We would charge per module as well, right? So £150 per module, and you're studying 4 units or 4 modules. So that's a total of £600. So your total cost for level 4 for the entire level itself would be $500 per semester. There's 2 semesters in every level. So this is 1,000 TT dollars here in terms of registration for the entire level. In terms of your tuition, 8,000 in total, and the amount of pounds that you'll have to pay, £600 for the entire level. Now, this here does not have to be paid up front. So don't be worried, we have payment plans as well. So you don't have to pay for the entire level or 2 semesters up front. You could just pay for 1 semester up front as well if you wish to, or you could be placed on a payment plan. So every month you make progressive payment towards your fees for the university fees as well as the TC fees for CTS College, right? Same structure for level 5. 500 in registration per semester, and we have the tuition fee going up by $250. So in level 4 is 2,000 per module, in level 5 is 2,250. So your total for the entire level will be $9,050 in tuition, and the university fee remains as £150 per module, and you're studying 4 modules, £600. So 1,000 TT, well, basically 1,000 TT in registration, 9,000 in tuition, and £600 for the university. Right, total cost for the entire level 5 for both semesters. Level 6, right, is your final year. The registration fee remains at 500 per semester. So that's 1,000 in registration for the entire level. At concerning your tuition, where it was $2,250 in level 5, it goes up by another $250 so it now brings the figure to $2,500 per module, and you're studying 4 modules, so 10,000 TT in tuition, right? And the university fee now, it was previously £150 in level 4, £150 in level 5. Since it's the final year as well, you have to pay £375 per module. So it's £1,500 for £1,500 in university fees or exam fees at level 6. So you have 1,000 in registration, 10,000 in CTS tuition, and £1,500 for the entire well, the university fees, right? And that would be the total cost for level 6 across both semesters. So this is the total cost for the entire level, right? So these figures might scare you a bit. Well, I'm not sure if I'll be able to afford that. I think you should be able to once you follow through with our payment plan. So the thing is, this entire program, if you start at level 4 and you go all the way to level 6, it would cost you roughly anywhere from 54,000 to 56,000. That's inclusive of the university fees, as well as the registration and tuition here as well, right? So this is your total cost for the entire thing. We've actually converted it. Well, we converted the pounds to TT, and we got roughly, well, pretty much this figure, but it's guaranteed to be less than this figure because the rate we calculated the pounds at is very, very high. So like we calculated at 10. The rate, the conversion rate right now, I believe it's like around 8.2 or 8.3, right? So that's 1 TT is the equivalent, well, £1 is equivalent to $8.20 TT, right? So it's a lot less than the figure that we would have used, which is 10, which is pretty much the highest possible figure, right? So it's guaranteed to be a lot less. So we could look at probably at 54,450 to be your total cost for the entire program if you start at level 4. All right. So I hope these big figures didn't scare you all, because now we're going to actually look directly at the total cost per semester. All right. And we're going to look specifically at the payment plans that we have available. So this here might be a bit more comforting to you. So let's look at the cost of the PSCIT at level 4 if you follow a payment plan, right? So at the start of the semester, so we have 2 semesters. We have semester 1 and we have semester 2. Yeah, this will basically make up the entire level, right? So you have to pay for both semesters as well, but you can pay it as you progress. So for the start of the semester, for the start of your first semester, you're a new student, no problem. You'll have to pay your CTS registration fee of $580, right? And for your first month, for this is first month number one, right? We expect you to pay $1,000 towards your tuition fee for CTS college, and we would encourage you to pay your university fee of £150 here, right, for one of your modules. So your first payment could look something like this: 1,500 TT on £150. So that's roughly 3,000 TT dollars, right? So if you don't want to pay this university fee here, you can actually shift that payment down because there's space in your third and fourth month, right? But at the end of the day, you'll be paying 1,000 per month, right? And you can shift these payments around as much as you like, or you could further divide these. So you could pay a fraction out of this figure in your first month, a fraction here, a fraction and a fraction here. But at the end of the day, you would be basically working towards clearing your 4,500 TT dollar figure and £300 figure for your first semester, right? If this is, a structure that you're not, you're not okay with and you want to work something specifically out for you, not a problem. This exact same structure for your first semester is the exact same structure for your second semester, right? So your first payment could be 1,000 TT towards tuition and 500 towards registration, £150 towards university fees. This could actually be shifted down to month 3 and month 4, month 2 to month 3, right? Depending on how you like to do it as well. But at the end, you clear your figure of 4,500 TT and £300, right? So this is what you would be paying per semester, right? And this exact same structure will be repeated from semester 1 onto semester 2 as well, right? So basically, if you follow through with the plan, you should be able to complete the entire bigger figure that we looked at on the previous slide, the first slide in terms of payment, right? So 9,000 TT and £600. So this is your aim, your target per semester, basically, right? So if you're not comfortable with this, as I said, not a problem. We can work something out a bit differently for you to spread those payments out or to probably increase and decrease where necessary. No problem. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to join us, Mr. Bob. No problem. So everything will be sent across to you. All right, so that's the structure in terms of the payment plan for level 4. At level 5, we're gonna have a look at level 5 now, right? Structure is pretty much the same, right? So for your first semester, 500 of registration, right? We're looking at increasing the amount of tuition fee that you pay at the first month, right? Because the total cost goes up in level 5 as well. And your first payment could look something like this: 1625 TT and £150. As before, you can actually shift those pounds payments a bit down, right, to your second and third and fourth month in the semester. That's not a problem. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you meet this figure. So that's 5,000 TT, £300. This would be the total cost for your first semester, right? Now, if you're not comfortable with this, no problem. We can actually formulate something to actually work a bit out better for you. So you could play around the payments as well, but you'll need to contact us. Apart from that, the exact same structure for semester 1 is the same structure for semester 2. So basically, when you follow the payment plan, you clear your semester 1 total, you clear semester 2 total, you would be meeting the entire level total, which would be 10,000 TT and £600, right? So this is the payment plan structure for level 5. And again, if you want something a bit more personalized, not a problem. Just give us a call and we will work something out with you. In terms of level 6 structure, right? For your first semester, we're looking at 500 in registration, 1,250 TT for tuition, and £375 for your university fee. This could be shifted down if it's necessary, but your first payment could look like this for the first month. This is your second month's payment, your third and your fourth. But these could be different because if you shift these down, of course, you're gonna have your pounds payment here or here. All right, but at the end, your semester total would be 5,500 TT and £750. Once you clear that, you should have the ability to move on to your second semester, which follows the exact same structure, right? 1,250, 375, 500 TT for your first semester at the start. Your first payment could look like this, right? You could shift these down if you'd like to, right? And of course, if you have any objection to what is shown in terms of the payment plan as well, just contact us and we'll format something special for you, specifically for you. But at the end, your total cost for level 6, once you follow through with the payment plan, you would actually be able to meet your total cost, which would be 11,000 TT and £1,500. All right, so those are the payment plan structures that we have. Right now, these are not set in stone, as I said. Right, these are just a suggestion of how it could be done. But if you have, like if you'd like to have it structured differently, like let's just say that you want something specialized for you, we can work that out as well. That's never a problem, right? You just contact us, let us know what would work for you, and we will try our best to facilitate you there as well. Now, in terms of the special offer, you were told that if you attend the information session, you'll find out more about, the special offer. What do we have to offer for you all? So applicants would receive up to $8,000 off your tuition fees for an entire level or per level. So roughly you get $250 off every subject in tuition or every unit in tuition, and the special conditions apply. So to access special offers, the following conditions must apply. The student must submit their completed application form with all supporting documents by next week, Friday. This date is incorrect. By next week, Friday, right? I'll have it updated before I send it out for you all, right? To bsc@ctscollege.com. The semester's registration, tuition, and university fees must be paid in full before the start of the semester, which is June the 10th, right? So this date also has to be corrected as well. So you send in your application for us to start before next week, Friday, right? And you make, well, once you're approved and you actually, you got accepted by the university, you clear your tuition fee, right? Or your registration fee, your tuition and your university fee by the start of classes, which is the 10th of June, and you would qualify to get that actual discount off. So you basically get $250 off each unit. If you clear for the entire level, you get $1,000 off in total. If you clear for one semester, you get 500 off. If you clear for both semesters, you get 1,000 off. That's how it works, right? Sure, no problem. Yeah, it would be corrected and sent over as well. And in terms of starting, so that's pretty much it in terms of just the presentation for the bachelor's in IT. So you will be starting your classes on June the 10th for that semester for level 5 and level 6 applicants. Any questions at this point on the BSc IT program, or any questions at all in relation to anything that we would have covered?
Nothing on my end, Sanjeev.
No problem.
Question, when do I
Mhm.
submit the application for level 4? I know you said that will be pushed to October, but when is the deadline for that submission of October?
Well, we do have a date. We could send us everything now because the sooner we get it, the better. Now, if you know that you want to be starting in October, no problem. You could send us everything now. We could have it saved and prepared for the October semester. So we would send it now, even though you're starting all the way in October. The whole idea is we want to get you approved before the actual semester starts. That's the main goal, right? Because you can always sign the letter of offer indicating that I want to start a bit later. I don't want to start in June. I want to start in October, right? So the whole idea is getting you approved first, so you could send us everything by next week, Friday, or a bit later. Or we could always run through the application together if you have issues as well. All right. So I wouldn't say that there's a deadline. You could work with the June deadline, even though you're starting in October, right? That's not a problem.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. So I have one additional part to this information session. So a lot of students here, maybe, like just recently completing CSEC or, just returning from, returning from all the way. Hello, you all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, no problems. I think I got connected there. Sorry about that. All right. So as I was saying, a lot of students here may actually be CSEC students or recent graduates from secondary school. Apart from that, there's a lot of persons basically returning to resume their studies, like after not, they don't have any prior qualifications, etc., and they want to now start their bachelor's degree, but they only possess CSEC qualifications. There's something special that we have for you. So if you don't meet the qualifying standard based on the entry requirements that we would have spoken about in the BSc IT presentation just now, right? We actually have created the bridging program for students. So if you don't think you meet the entry requirements for the BSc in IT, or you don't think that you're ready to start a BSc in IT as yet, not a problem. We actually have the IT bridging program at CCS College to assist you. Now, this is actually ideal for students just out of secondary school who are seeking to pursue a qualification in information technology or the bachelor's in IT, but they don't meet the qualifying standard, right? So students with just CSEC alone and they don't have IT work experience or any work experience at all, they can actually do this program and get certification from CTS College, which they can then use to apply it to their apply that to their application and actually get accepted. And this is something we've been doing for quite a while now. And students usually like get into the BSc in IT program upon completing the bridging without a doubt, right? So, well, how is this program structured? The IT bridging program is made up of 5 individual courses. So there's 5 courses. You get to pick which ones you like to do. Recommendation is, you do like all 5, because there's actually a special discount that we would give if you choose to do all 5 as well, right? So each course would run for a period of 4 weeks. You would have 12 contact hours. You would basically have 4 classes. Each class would be 3 hours long, right? Each course basically would be assessed every week. So every week you'll be given homework or coursework, and you would be doing these in preparation for your next week, right? And all of these are practical assessments. Most of these are practical assessments. So it's things that you have to build, develop, stuff that you have to program or basically write and prepare for, diagrams, etc., that you have to develop. All right. So there's also one of the course that would be exams only, and that would be the networking one, since it's a lot more theory based as opposed to practical. Right. And upon completion of each unit, a student would receive a certificate. So like each one of these courses, you'll get a certificate for each one. If you do 3, you'll get your certificate for 3 upon completion. If you do all 5, you get 5 certificates for each one, right? So what are these courses? So we have the Java programming, we have Python programming, networking, web design, as well as database design fundamentals. And each one of these units, the best part about it is each one of these courses are actually very similar to what you would be doing at level 4 in the bachelor's in IT. We would have actually examined the learning outcomes in the bachelor's units, right, at level 4, and we've pulled out the key aspects of each one of them, and we've basically formatted our own bridging program based on those learning outcomes, right? So it's basically or essentially a bit lower level, or basically an introductory level into each one of the areas that you would be covering later on in the bachelor's in IT. So we've pulled out Java programming, Python. We've also pulled out a lot of networking fundamentals as well, database or database administration and database design. And we've pulled out web design as well, which you would be covering later on in level 4, transitioning over to level 5. So these are basically the start and end dates for the course that we currently have running. And basically, 2 of these courses are actually started already, right? So the ones that have started already would be the Introduction to Python Programming, right? So that's this one. The other one would be Database Design Fundamentals, right? So this one would have started on the 2nd of Feb, right? This is the 2nd of Feb 2023. So this one is in progress and this one is in progress, right? It's basically in roughly 2 or 3 weeks since these courses have started. So I wouldn't recommend doing these now, right? But you have the availability of the others, which would be Java programming, networking fundamentals, and web design as well, that you can look into, because these haven't started as yet. We don't start all 5 at one time. We would start 2, then we would do another 2, and then we would do the last one later on, right? So these are the first 2 that are running right now. And since a lot of classes have gone from it, I wouldn't recommend registering for it as well. So I would prefer if you register for the Java or the networking fundamentals or the web design as well. So you can do 3, and I'll still apply the discount as well for you all. It's not a problem. So I'll have the registration form as well email across to you all. So if you're interested in doing the bridging program before you step into doing the bachelor's in IT, not a problem. So here's what it would look like doing these courses individually. So let's just say maybe you don't want to do all 5. I just want to do 1, 2, or 3, right? So like I want to do Java programming, I want to do networking, and I want to do database or maybe web design, right? So I want to do these 3 courses, right? The individual price for each one will be 1,000 TT dollars, right? So that my total course would be basically $3,000. Or if I want to do them individually, but over different periods of time, I would have a total cost of 1,000 each, a total cost of 5,000 TT. But if you do all five, right, bundled together in the same course offering, you would get 30% off or $300 off every single course. So versus doing them individually, paying that larger figure, right, you have the availability to get all five courses for 3,500 TT, right, if you do them all at once, right? But it's not a problem. Like specifically if students are registering late, right, and the other two courses or the first two courses have already started, I have no problem applying the 30% discount, even though you're doing maybe one, two, or three of these as well, right? So that's not a problem in terms of the payment plan as well, because you're not expected to pay that $3,500 figure or whatever figure that you have to clear for your tuition in full at the start, right? What we recommend as well, given the amount of courses that you'd like to do, right? What we can do is facilitate 50% or even 25% upfront, all right? And then you clear the balance progressing through the actual bridging program. So we recommend that you pay 50. If you can't make the 50% or half of the tuition upfront, you can make quarter of the tuition upfront and 25, or basically 25% upfront. And then for the remainder of the bridging program or the remainder of your classes, you make sure you clear your tuition for before the class ends so that you'll get your certificate on time, etc. Right? So that's pretty much what we have to propose in terms of payment plans as well. So how do you go about registering, right? Now applying, students must complete the registration form for the CTS IT bridging program. This would actually be emailed to you as well. Once you have it, you can actually have it completed and send it back to us at bsc@ctscollege.com. We would process it, have you registered, and we will add you to the class listing immediately since the program is currently ongoing, depending on which one you register for. Now, the original registration date was February, but well, you must ensure that you submit your stuff by February 1st so that we could have gotten you into classes. But this is now actually shifted a bit later on, given that the program has already started. But you can still register for the other courses that haven't started as yet, right? But this registration date is actually shifted. We could shift it to probably next week, Friday, for the latest. So if you're interested in starting the bridging program, not a problem. Just make sure you indicate that you'd like to do so by completing your registration form, which will be emailed to you, and sending it back to us. So you could probably contact me as well. I can assist you in filling out that form as soon as the session is over, right? We could talk about payment as well there, right? If you're interested in probably taking advantage of the payment plan for the bridging program as well. All right, so the semester start date, again, 10th of June, Saturday the 10th of June for the BSc IT students, right? Just making sure that we put that out there. So that's our next start date. So make sure that you send in your applications for both the BSc IT and the bridging program before next week, Friday, in preparation for the 10th of June, your new semester. Is there any questions or concerns at all in relation to the bridging or the BSc in IT? Yes, you can also do overseas qualifications with us before you begin the bridging program, right? But the bridging program would not require any prerequisites at all. Anyone can start it. So the choice is yours. We do have secondary studies at CTS College, so you can actually pick what subjects you'd like to complete, right? We offer pretty much all subjects excluding English B or English literature, right? So you could take it as a private candidate. Was it that you completed CSEC before, right? So you've taken your first opportunity to do your CSEC and haven't passed, or is it that, you're not returning, or what exactly is the case? Or would you like to share with me over, like a one-on-one conversation if, if you're not comfortable with sharing? No problem. So you can contact me. I'll put my number on the chat there for you all. Actually, I'll leave it up on screen here for the meanwhile for you all. Right. So I'm the last person here. I am Sanjeev. You can contact me at 2860862. Right. You guys can take a screenshot of this as well. So if you don't get on to me, Mr. Aaron is also in the background working. If you don't get Aaron or me, you can contact Mr. Raghunatha as well. All right. No problem. Any questions again?
Nothing here.
No problem. All right. So Again, you would be followed up with probably by next week, Monday or Tuesday. So you can expect a call from either myself or Aaron, right? Just following up with you in terms of, your decision making, if you're ready to start, if you'd like to do the bridging or the BSc in IT. Up to you. If you skip the bridging program, it's not about being lost really, because the thing is, with the BSc in IT, the way that we do our classes, we take you from the ground up. Never have we ever expected the student to basically pick up or basically have prior knowledge. We always treat students as if they know absolutely nothing on what has to be taught, right? And we get them from point A to point B. So you don't have to have 100% knowledge, like on the actual topic at the BSc level, right? Because we take you from the ground up. But in terms of meeting the qualifying standard, that's the challenge, because students, it's not a problem for us to, teach a student and guide the student in understanding what has to be done and understanding these IT topics, right? But the challenge is getting them into the program in terms of their acceptance, because we are not the ones doing the accepting, it's the university. So it's not a matter of you being lost, right? You can skip the bridging program, start directly at level 4, and we'll be able to take it from there. But the real challenge is getting the student accepted, meeting that prerequisite in terms of your application. Your supporting documents must coincide with the entry requirements, right? So the choice is really yours.
Hi, I have a question. When does the cycle for the bridging courses restart? I see in March, dates on March, but does it restart in April or May?
It would restart around May, right? But we do have the dates. These, we have tentative dates, but we haven't released them as well, because we usually have to, like shift these around with our lecturers for the bridging as well. So we don't release those dates until the like when it's nearing the new cycle. But I can email you the tentative dates that we have starting for the next cycle, right? And of course, I could share with you the dates that we have right now for the courses that haven't started as well, right? So you could do those 3 courses that haven't started, and you can always finish off the other 2 in the next cycle. If that's, if that's interesting, I can apply the discount because you're interested in doing all 5. It's just that we can't offer, well, you're registering late, so you can't do the other 2, but you can always do it in our next cycle as well, and the discount could be applied. All right.
Yes.
Not so much. I believe there is some C# in level 6, but we more focus on Java, JavaScript, PHP. I know this HTML, CSS, but those are scripting languages, but I don't think anything C or C# or any of that family would be taught. Um, I can double check for you and have the course outlines emailed to you as well, just to be sure. Yeah. No. Well, a lot of students ask this question as well, and I'll tell you why. Because GATE funding or GATE support is only for, well, pretty much local programs offered with local institutions. Any foreign awarding body offering, like since we're offering a foreign program with a foreign awarding body, it would not apply. GATE would not apply at all, right? Because it's a foreign university that's in relation. So GATE would work for institutions like UA, etc. Yeah, but not for CTS College and not with this program. It's not gate approved, unfortunately. But that's the reason why we have these payment plans as well, to fight against this, because the whole idea is either you pay a tuition upfront or you have gate funding. Most institutions as well may have payment plans where it may not be affordable. So we've actually chatted with the university, got that rate chopped down as much as we can in terms of the university fee as well, right? Because if you were to do this exact same degree with the exact university, it would cost you a lot more in terms of the pounds as well. So we've got it at the cheapest possible rate for you. No props. Any questions again? Feel free to unmute. All right. So I'm hoping that you guys just I'm leaving these numbers up as well, right? So if you haven't already, just make note of the numbers. You can always contact me, right? But you will be contacted by Monday or Tuesday next week, right? Just to, have a chat about your decision in terms of starting or, maybe looking at alternative solutions as well, right? We're always open for conversation. And of course, your application forms would go to bsc@ctscollege.com. You're emailing all of your supporting documents here. Yeah. It's all right. So it's a mixture of exams, but very, very minimal exams. It's more project-based, coursework-based. You have a lot of things that you will be required to develop and write and create. So a lot more programming, a lot more practical work. Yeah. The most amount of exams that you would have, for example, at level 4, I believe there's 2 or 3 exams. Well, majority of it would be for networking. And the other 2 exams that you would have are smaller exams like multiple choice questions as well. I believe it's like about 20 to 30 questions in relation to a programming language and syntax, etc. So it isn't anything critical. And these exams, even though, they are a whole assessment, they don't really weigh that much in terms of the actual module. So they are for less marks. The actual projects and assignments and stuff like that will be weighted a lot more in terms of the marks. No problem. Any more? All right. So at this point, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who are taking your time, your out of your Saturday, right? Because I know it's Saturday as well, right? Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm hoping to hear from you in the near future. And I'm hoping that you will be willing to start, yeah, for the bridging program. All right. So it's more coursework. Except for the networking fundamentals course, because that one is more well, a lot more theory, I would say. So these would be exam based because there's like a lot of stuff on IP addressing, etc. We're actually trying to see if we could get a little more practical work involved as well. But for this course offering, I believe the entire thing would be exams, right? Probably in the next course offering, we would try to introduce a bit more in depth into IP addressing and like cabling, etc. But not right now. So all of these would be exams for the other 4 courses. Though in the bridging program, these would continue to be practical work. So you have your programming taking place, or your database being developed, etc. Yeah. All right. No problem. So again, guys, thanks so much. I'm going to bring the session to a close as well. So if you do have questions, message me on WhatsApp or call me right after the session has ended so that we can have a chat. And this could be in relation to any program at CTS College or the BSc and IT and the bridging program as well. Right. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Can't thank you enough. And I'm hoping to hear from you guys in the near future. Right. I'll hear from you guys specifically at probably Monday or Tuesday. Yeah. Take care, guys.
Take care,
Enjoy.
everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, be safe.